Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Jagdpanzer E100. It's a tier 10 German tank destroyer. It's located on the south spawn of Steps, and this one is under the command of YoMamas. Well, we haven't seen a replay from him for a while, so this could be quite interesting. This is a tank destroyer that never actually existed. Yep, it's an invention of Wargaming's fertile imagination, but it's what they think the E100 tank destroyer would have looked like. Well, it's armed with a 17cm gun, which is actually of an Arty origin, because it does say Kanonen, not KWK or PAK. And yes, it's probably the very same gun that you might find in some of the Arty. Now, his reload time is 24.64 seconds. It's one of the bad things about this tank. It does take an awful long time to reload. But you can see here that YoMamas has got it down to 21.12. It's got very thick armor on the front of the vehicle, 200mm. And yes, so he's going to have a bit of fun with these enemy tanks on the east side of the map. And yep, we just saw a Kranvan. And now he's spotting an AMX 13105. He's doing a bit of spotting for us. Or the enemy one's doing some spotting to try and find us. And oh, our Backchat 25 ton had a very brief game. And he's out of it. Now, it's not particularly fast. It's only 30 kilometers an hour maximum speed. I suppose it might go a bit faster if it was going downhill, but the first enemy has been sent back to the garage. That was the AMX 13105. Yeah, he shouldn't have ventured out when there was a 17cm gun that could wipe him out with one shot. 1050 is the alpha from these armor-piercing shells with two 99mm of pen, and with heat rounds they'll do 420mm for 1050. Kranvan first. Ouch, that's a high roll. He did take a round from the Leopard. In fact, there's two Leopards out there because, well, he got hit almost immediately by two of them. But the Kranvan's missing most of his hit points now, and he won't be a happy bunny. Yeah, he's telling the Leopard to fall back because, after all, he is the ace predator around here. The Leopard can snipe from a distance away. In fact, we've got two Leopards on our team, and one of the enemy tanks is coming up onto the hill. He's now being sniped at, the Object 140. He is a one-shot. Well, he's a one-shot for YoMamas. That Leopard, though, is going to take more than one round to take him out. Let's hope our teammates manage to reduce his hit points just a little, and then we can zap him with one shot. The Kranvan is a one shot for us, and now even more so. In fact, he's now only got 418 hit points. This vehicle does actually have quite a nice amount of hit points, 2,200 in total. It's quite a large hit pool. Very strong frontal armor, but it can be penetrated with heat rounds. And that 140 keeps testing the water, but oh, super conk. He ducks back into cover quickly. Yes, I think they know that YoMamas is not a noob. This is not his first rodeo. And yeah, he's waiting until he can get them still long enough that he can put the shell exactly where he wants it to go, somewhere extremely vulnerable. And the top of that super conk looks very inviting. Unfortunately, he doesn't hit the right spot, and therefore that round is not going anywhere. You only get 24 rounds of ammunition, so you have to make the best use of them. And Arty's firing. Yep, T92. 2 critical hits. Thankfully, only track damage. Now, I think we can expect to hear from that T92 HMC again. 24cm shell he's sending down to us. And we try again on the Superconch, but again we don't get a good hit. And I think the Superconch will be liking that because he's now got over 2,000 hit points of block damage. But I'm pretty sure that the enemy is getting a bit worried that they're getting held up on this side of the map, whereas the enemy on the other side is actually giving way. So they may have to push, or they're not going to get anywhere at all. And this time round he hits the sweet spot, and 1,072 hit points. That's a high roll. As you may know, we're still testing to find out the right settings so we can record these videos. Trying something new on this occasion. That long reload can be a real pain for this tank. That's why it really does help to have somebody behind us backing us up, because he'll keep the enemy suppressed. And there you go, the Object 140 just died to the Leopard 1. Unfortunately, that round didn't go through the spaced armor on the front of the Superconch.
Much obliged.
Yep, I think the Leopard's happy because basically he is actually letting the enemy poke over the ridgeline so he can take a shot. And if YoMamas can keep them at bay, then he's helping the team. Okay, Leopard 1 briefly comes into view. He's almost tempting that Leopard to come over the ridgeline so that his teammate can then get shots. Oh, Arty! Well, only hit the tracks again. Except the Superconch made a bit of an error there. He poked out and he's out the game. Only 105 hit points, but that's all he had left. So we're one tank down on the enemy, and they seem to have blocked us over on the other side of the map for the moment. YoMamas still testing the water by pushing up, tempting them to come towards him. The gun depression is only 6 degrees on this vehicle, and that's because the gun is actually on the engine deck. Well, the engine deck does get in the way, doesn't it? As you may know, it's an E100 is basically an E100 tank in reverse with the engine up front, whereas in the E100 the engine was normally at the rear. They only made one. They completed the hull, but they never completed the turret or fitted the turret to it. It was supposed to have the mouse turret. Oh, hello, Mr. Cranbon. And the Leopard takes him. Nice work by the Leopard. He's now got 2 kills thanks to YoMamas, and 2 kills to YoMamas. And the enemy are now starting to die on the other side of the battlefield as well. So they are keeping pace, and here comes that Leopard 1. We're loading an HE round this time. Now, yes, I did mention the HE earlier in the game, and in fact, it's 1,400 hit points, but it only penetrates 85mm of armor. So he should be able to make it through a Leopard. Even if he doesn't penetrate, he could do considerable damage to an enemy tank. 700 hit points for a non-pen. In fact, he's loaded the AP again. I think he's going to try and come around the corner and get that Leopard. He's forcing him. Forcing his hand this time. If he goes up on top of the hill, the Leopard will have a shot at him. In fact, the other Leopard's coming in as well. Or is that the same one? No, I think it's the same one. I almost feel like that moment in Twister, the film, where they see a cow in the air. You say, another cow. No, I think that one was the same one. Oh, Arty! Ouch! That one was a direct hit. And the leopard might think he's got the advantage, but no, he hasn't, and there you go. Yep.
I appreciate it.
And the leopard got a thank you. Okay, now they've got to head back to their cap because unfortunately the enemy did break through on the other side. There's nobody left on this side. There's only 5 left on the enemy team. 4 of them have been seen over the other side of the battlefield, so they're probably inbound towards our cap. And yeah, this is where it gets really slow. 7 kilometers an hour going uphill. You don't really want to have one of these on Himmelsdorf. If you do, stay low, because going up the hill in one of these takes forever. Now obviously he's going to try and keep the terrain in his favour. With 6 degrees of gun depression, it's not going to be easy for him to get his bead on the enemy. Ah, first victim. It's the 60 TP. Oh, 993, even a low roll looks absolutely fantastic, but the T92 hits us again, another direct hit this time for 339. In fact, you can't see the impact point, but yes. But we are loaded, and that 60 TP is, yep, sent back to the garage. He did get us with one 152mm round, and we've lost another 760, which makes us a one-shot now for some of the enemy tanks, especially the Heshbon. The Leopard's coming close. I think the one thing I'm most worried about at the moment is whether that Arty will actually fire again. There's the STB off in the distance. We can't get a shot at him. He's the other side of the ridgeline. But the Leopard's in a good position, so he should be able to take him on. And they have actually platooned those pair because they both got at least 3 kills. So Brothers in Arms is on the cards if they both stay alive. Okay, loading the AP again, and there's the Heshbon. He stopped. Oh! Kill shot! That's 5 kills now for YoMamas. That's good news, because that's one of the few tanks who could kill him. And the enemy Leopard just died to our IS-7. And that means now everyone's outnumbered the enemy, which is only an STB-1 because the T-92 HMC is out of the game. Didn't see when that happened, but he is out the game. And now it's only the STB-1 and everyone's heading north. Well, the IS-7's not heading north, he's actually heading west. But I suppose he's hoping that he'll catch the STB-1 trying to go around the perimeter. That's the 2-minute warning. Now the STB-1 might try to snipe from a distance. And in fact, actually he went the other side. And he went around our Leopard to try and get behind him. The Leopard's hitting him hard, but he's being hit hard as well. Arty managed to get a shot in. The Object 261. Stay alive, Leopard. Stay alive. We're coming. One more shot to do and win this game. Yes! That was great. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for YoMamas in the Jagdpanzer E100, the Jaegeru. In fact, he's had an ace tanker before. It's not the first time because he didn't get the scroll, so he's obviously had one before. He got a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle. He got above and arms in that game. Yes, he managed to get at least 3 kills, and his teammate got 3 kills. In fact, he managed to get a top gun in this game, as you saw there, as well as a high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game. And just look at that win rate, 9,883, which is super unicum and quite a bit more. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he's top of the table when it comes to damage with 6,492 hit points. The second highest damage was his platoon mate, the Leopard 1, with 6,088. So he picked the right spot to be to support YoMamas whilst he was working that ridgeline, and everything who came over the ridgeline trying to get at YoMamas got hit by the Leopard 1 as well. So he was getting a right good place to snipe at the enemy, whilst YoMamas knew he had somebody behind him protecting him. And the third highest damage in the game went to the Heshbarn on the enemy team with 5,217. When it came to kills, YoMamas got the top spot with 6 kills. 3 kills went to his platoon mate, the Leopard 1, and also to the 60 TP on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, he's got that one too. So YoMamas top with 1,290. Second place goes to the Leopard 1, who managed to get 1,161. Let's have a quick look at his name and see if it's Rapide. Is it Rapide? I hope it is anyway. But very well played by Rapide in the Leopard 1. Let's have a look at the detail report. 12 shots fired, 12 direct hits on the enemy, only 8 penetrations though. You know, those shots on the Super Conqueror that didn't pen, those were the problem ones. He got 1 splash damage as well, 6,492 hit points of damage, of which 1,777 were at more than 300 meters. 6 hits received from the enemy, 2 pens and 4 non-pens, and 4 hits by way of splash damage. The T-92 HMC did focus on him, but that's correct because after all, he is a slow, heavy tank destroyer, and the best thing he could do was to slow YoMamas down as much as he could to give his teammates a chance, but unfortunately he just couldn't do it completely. 1,660 hit points blocked by armor, 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 6 killed, 2,327 hit points of spotting assist. Most of that was earned by the Leopard 1 shooting the tanks that YoMamas was spotting for him. 81,041 credits for the game. After repair and ammunition resupply, he still took away 12,139 credits profit. He got 7 bonds because it was tier 10. 1,935 XP times 2 for the first victory, took away 3,870 experience points altogether. So let's have a quick look at the armor profile for this monster. Yeah, it's pretty strong. I mean, you can see here, and remember, that is 200 millimeters of armor. I did mention it during the game, but with the angling, it comes out at 322. Even the lower plate is strong, and that's 150 millimeters of actual armor, but it's coming out at 260, 270 with the angling. Even the front plate of this thing, 250 millimeters of armor, actual armor, but it's effectively coming out at about 260, 270 odd, because there's a slight angling on it. The sides of this vehicle are pretty strong as well, 60 millimeters with 120. It's spaced armor over the sides. You can see because it's an E100 hull, it's got the skirts over the actual tracks to protect it, and so that acts as spaced armor of 60 millimeters, and then you've got the actual side armor as well. 150 millimeters of side armor there, coming out 168. Even the rear is strong, 15 centimeters of armor coming out at 15, and the lower part of the on the hull there, 15 centimeters coming out at 205 because it's fairly angled there. So yes, it's a very strong tank, very difficult to get through. And if he angles, you can see that you've got no chance of getting through the front plate unless you use heat. And in fact, it's pretty difficult to try and get through the front of this vehicle using anything but a heat round. Let's have a quick look at the modules. Drivers up front on the right hand side, we've got the radio operator on the left hand side. There's 2 fuel tanks there, but very difficult to get at them unless of course you're using heat rounds, because remember the spaced armor. We've got a huge engine there sitting directly behind the driver. The transmission's in front of him, and there's a big ammo store because remember 17 centimeter shells. They're deep inside the vehicle. We've got 2 loaders, 1 gunner on the right hand side, tank commander on the left hand side. Very difficult to get at them. There is a cupola at the back, but nobody's actually occupying it. The fuel tank is down in the hull, low, behind the ammo rack. So if you want to set the thing alight, you've either got to get through the bogies and the tracks, or in fact, it's Schachtel Lackwert. I should remember the name. It's the interlocking wheels, interleave wheels on the E100. At least I think it is Schachtel Lackwert. Yeah, I'll have to let's have a look at the texture. No, it doesn't show you on the texture. There's the armor. No, not on the module. Oh well, I'll have to look that one up. But it's actually very difficult to get through. So you are actually, if you want to set the thing alight, you have to get really behind it to actually get it alight. But you can see you can get the ammo rack if you can get a shell through the side of the vehicle. But remember that 60 millimeters of the skirt and also 15 centimeters of the actual side of the vehicle. But that's where all the modules are on the Jaegeru. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.